I'm really not one to discuss leaks ever. I think out of like the 800 Mortal Kombat videos on my channel, maybe one other time I've discussed leaks, and that was probably back when I had like 10k subscribers, really finding out what I wanted to do in the community. This leak right here, I would not have talked about if this dude isn't right on everything that has happened for like the last 5 months. I'm serious, man doesn't miss. I get better communication from this guy on Reddit than I do NRS themselves. I'm serious. He lets everybody know it's coming like weeks in advance, and then it ends up happening. But it gets a little bit deeper because originally in the last video, I thought the guy was just a data miner, but really when you look at the Reddit post, he knows way more than just data mining these things. They turn out to be true almost to the dot on things that aren't involved in the code at all, making me think this man knows somebody that works at NetherRealm, which fair play, fair play. If you're the insider, keep doing what you're doing, I appreciate it. And there's hope. Not for a Scorpion buff, but hope for this game, for everybody else besides me and the other Kuai Liang mains. And Sub-Zero mains, I'm sorry sub mains. The big one. Viewer sets can finally return on my channel. There are so many community members I've kind of lost touch with since MK1 released, because in MK11, twice a week, I would take my Scorpion and play viewers. That's coming back, and not just because crossplay is releasing. From the leaks, rooms are actually coming back. It looks like they'll be called lobbies this time around, but essentially that means rooms. My only slight concern about that is, it was only crossplay rooms in MK11, and something's telling me it's only going to be crossplay rooms in MK1, which means us Xbox players still cannot compete in MK1. If you're unfamiliar, the way you compete in Mortal Kombat games is the tournament organizers host a King of the Hill session and then hit the spectate feature, and sadly, there's never been a crossplay King of the Hill, which I've been advocating for years now. I said that would be the most important feature that should be added to MK1. I am hoping I'm wrong, but that kind of scares me because crossplay rooms are great for me. I, as a creator, get to run viewer sets versus all of you guys. But for anybody who's not a creator that's on Xbox or PC, that's tragic, man. Like, we on Xbox and PC deserve to be able to compete without having to go buy another console. It's 2024, man. Crossplay is not that hard. I'm using this guy I played earlier's combat card for an example, but on the flip side, look at my name right there. I am Wild Holy Moon Thunder D0SH. That's me right there. I could show you my full profile. I was playing against this guy in casuals. Sorry, friend, that I beat you 5 times, but it was really fun set. My name on Xbox is clearly Diff FGC. So why would it change it to that if we weren't gonna get all sorts of game modes supporting this feature? It's the same way in Combat League leaderboards. My name will be Wild Holy Moon Thunder. Let me show you. Yes, I am Elder God, because remember, before I went on Christmas break, I told you guys I was playing with friends and all that. I mean, that's old news, but some of you might be surprised if you weren't around in December/late November. Obviously, it still shows my rank is 257 in Elder God right now. But look right here, rank number 1. This Tanya player has been like rank 1 or 2 the entire time that MK1's been out. That man's name is completely changed now to Delicate Polished Night Pond I6ANZ. I don't know why it would change on the leaderboards as well if it wasn't going to be added to at least casuals. Like, I'll understand if it doesn't actually show up in ranked like it's showing right here, and they're just more testing it on all the leaderboard features, but at the very least, they would need to switch it back if crossplay isn't for ranked. Because this is just some BS. Like, I don't want to see Restless Polished Bush Surf EC8TB. I want to see who this Baraka Striker player actually is. So that's my copium right there, that I think it'll be all game modes. If not, it'll be all game modes except for ranked that get crossplay features. Next up is Tag Team mode, and Tag Team was added 3 updates ago. It's exactly what you think it is, where instead of having a cameo, you tag in and out. And we know it's possible. There are already mods on PC right now that you can go and play where you tag in and out, which personally, not to sound blasphemous here, I never really wanted tag team mode in September, October, and November. But now that we've been this far into the game and it doesn't look like we're getting many other modes, I'm happy with it. In fact, that would be kind of insane that I could play both Scorpion and Melina at one time. The only problem with that though is Melina without Hanzo Scorpion cameo is probably not going to get as much damage, but a man can dream. She still gets decent damage with the upwards teleport where she comes from the ground and launches you up. But I think it was around December where one of my good friends that lives nearby was like, a tag team mode would be so fun because I have two characters I really like. He doesn't put in the same amount of time that I do playing this game. So for him to have a big reason to intricately learn this second character that he doesn't normally put time into, he's ecstatic for it. And that kind of changed my perspective. Plus, the creativity of this game goes through the roof. A billion new combo routes, tons more brutals because we're now using two characters during a match and each character has like 6 brutals already, so 12 possible ones. I think my hype would go through the roof for that game mode if I could do it in rooms in crossplay viewer sets. Like, it wouldn't be a comp game mode, let's be real. It would never be comp ready. Imagine Ketchy, man gets ghost and another broken character. I mean, like Ashra or something, or who would actually close that? Raiden would probably be better because Ashra, you can duck the forward too. Regardless, it would never be competitively viable, but it would be really fun if we could all run, you know, tag team versus each other. Next up is cameo mode, and I have absolutely no idea what that means. I was thinking maybe you had like a cameo and another cameo, and then the game allowed all cameo moves to be ambush and you could combine all cameo moves, but there's a voice line that says cameo wins in the game files. Like, the announcer says that, and I just have no clue. That's like the biggest speculation one for me. Like, I want to ask in the comments what even a cameo 1v1 game mode could be. Do you select another cameo? Because no way, with how fast updates have been, we don't even have all the game modes that are presented to us since launch. There's no way that these cameos all have their own individual moveset, along with the fact that there's cameo DLC alongside the normal DLC. It's got to be that the main character cameo gets the 4 moves, can move at all times while doing the moves, and then you get a second cameo that also maybe turns them all into ambush. I don't really know. That one, again, blows my mind that it's in the game files, but again, I'm here for it. I'm here for any new game modes at this point. I just want something, NetherRealm. Thank you. We have figured out essentially what this warrior shrine is, and sadly, it's a little disappointing. It's gonna be similar to those meteor towers in MK11, except less work. It seems like you just use currency. Essentially, you can go get old Kombat League rewards in the warrior shrine by using currency at this point in time. Who knows if that'll change? It could end up being like a little secret thing like the MK11 meteor towers. If you didn't know, in MK11, 10 minutes into the hour, every hour, so 11:10 a.m., 12:10 p.m., every time that minute of each hour rolled around, a meteor flew across the middle of the Towers of Time screen, and you had to input this like long string of hidden buttons. It was like up, left, right, down, right, left, up, down, left, right, something like that. Wasn't super simple, but it was a string of secret characters, kind of like an old arcade secret Easter egg. And when you did that, you unlocked a new secret tower where normally you put the skeleton keys to get a new tower. And if you won the fight against that opponent, you got one randomized Kombat League skin reward. Stage transitions are added to the files, and Stage transitions are added to the files, and I have almost zero hope of that coming to MK1. What disappointed me a little when going down the rabbit hole of what data miners and leakers that are historical in the MK scene have, you know, presented to people is that big things like that right there can be for the next NRS title, which would make sense if it was Injustice 3, because Injustice 2, you can knock the opponent out the back of the stage and you fall into a completely new stage with a little cinematic as you do it. Apparently, things like that can get put into the files that are really major because they're using the same engine to work on things in the next game that aren't based on actual gameplay. So just working on the stages ends up happening in the previous title, which is kind of cool if you're excited for Injustice 3. I am. I know a lot of people that are like more casual actually like Injustice better than MK. I don't agree with you, but you know, to each their own. It's not like NetherRealm has completely shied away from stages being different in this game. If you didn't know, Middle Pyramid, the stage, is bigger than all the other stages in the game. So it's not like NetherRealm has shied away from it. I know interactables are gone, which would lead you to believe it's impossible. And trust me, I think this might be an Injustice 3 thing, but at least Middle Pyramid gives us hope that NetherRealm might do it. A big one that I'm so happy about. Like, it's not even that important, but it never made sense why it didn't return from MK11. Mercies are back in the game files, including challenges to perform mercies. There's even challenge lines that include Omni-Man's name doing mercies. Why was that feature ever removed? It was so fun. You know, it didn't affect anything. The winner could just give the opponent 20% more life and go for it. Maybe it was a little bit toxic, but I honestly never saw in a rank set somebody mercying, because after 2 months of the game, people had already seen the clips of people mercying and then losing, and nobody did that anymore. It was usually just friends or people doing viewer sets that would mercy each other, and it just made it kind of fun. So I'm so happy that's returning. I don't really need the friendships back, because knowing this game so far, WB's gonna charge you if friendships come back. In terms of DLC, this one isn't really special. We usually get 3 combat packs, but it's looking like that'll be the normal plan again and probably have more added than that. Like, to have essentially 3 combat packs planned without 2020 happening again for this game makes perfect sense, and I bet you if Injustice 3 is taking a little bit longer, instead of doing a release like this one has been, we'll probably just get a Combat Pack 4. Story DLC has been added to the game files. That one isn't a surprise as well. If you didn't play MK11, you might think that's a huge surprise, but in MK11 we got the DLC where you could actually play with the Shang Tsung winning ending. That DLC was one of the best of all time, and I'll take that back a little bit. That makes me really excited because my favorite part of the MK11 story was that DLC. Not even lying to you. That part had me playing it in front of my 3 college roommates. It was a blast. I never got around to talking to it, but online practice got added to the code on my birthday, actually. December 29th, we finally saw it, as well as the 2 or 3 other King of the Hill options. Didn't include crossplay King of the Hill options, but online practice should be coming with the Peacemaker update. The reason I'm speculating a lot of this comes with the major update is because, again, the guy who has proven never to be wrong in the entirety of MK1 leaks so far said that this update will probably be the most massive. I think a lot of the features we've been waiting on are finally here, which is why it got delayed 2 weeks, because desync took some time away from that. To circle back though, the sad news is I don't think there will be that many character changes that aren't incredibly obvious. Like, Kenshi won't be able to whiff grabs to bring back Ghost, and probably will cost 2 bars to bring back Ghost instead of 1. Sindel will get the correct amount of mix-up frame protection, which is 5 frames for every other character. Raiden's gonna not be able to start rounds early, and while they're there, they might just touch up some of his safety in certain places, but it would be very slight. I doubt there will be any major shifts to the actual character meta in the season release patch. I think that will all be mid-season if we get one when the cameo drops. Hey, if you enjoy mobile games, apparently Sub-Zero Announcer is coming to the game if you get the MK1 Onslaught, which is a mobile app, I think. But yeah, this guy went from crushing my dreams every single time because he was right about every single bit of bad news we got for the last few months. And now he brings me hope, and I can't thank the guy enough for doing the work he does. He definitely has some insider info though. I don't know how he has it, and I don't know the guy personally, but how do you know so much, good sir?